Hi. As the writer of The Witness, I just want to explain a little bit about the process of what happened. I quite often write lots of comedies, and for our drama group, we've done a lot of Zoom comedies, which has been uplifting and amazing during lockdowns and things. But I challenge myself to write a crime drama, which in my head was going to be performed social distancing, not over Zoom, social distancing, with sort of couples performing different interview scenarios. But as our group looked at it, the fact that we're a Christian-based drama group raised the issues of the morals of what I'd written. So I decided to take it on as a project rather than a performance to show you. So we picked apart the characters first and looked at how they reacted and the sort of things that they say. There are several detectives and police officers. We have somebody in the group who is a member of our police community who is able to say, well, actually, he wouldn't word it like that, he would word it like this. So as a group, we picked apart the script, we picked apart what people say and how they react. We did different workshops about characterisation and situations where they would be in. We had group discussions about the morals of what happens, the lying, the cheating, the inevitable of what happened, what built up to that, how we would tackle that as a Christian community, how we wouldn't, allow ourselves to be like that, how we would approach somebody who was going through things like that. So we did a load of workshops and, 4 or 5 weeks of picking the script apart, looking at the characters, looking at the moral dilemmas, looking at it from a Christian point of view, what God would be saying through it. And then finally, the night that we recorded this, it was whoever turned up would read a part. They didn't audition for it. They didn't plan for it. There was no costume prep. There was no lighting prep or thing in the background because it was just a read through of what the play was. So what you're about to see is a group of people who turned up at a Zoom meeting, were given a character to play, and this is what they came up with. It's not the right lighting, not the right costume. Doesn't even say their names or who they are. So just kind of bear in mind that the end product was not the performance, but what we got out of it as a group. Enjoy The Witness by St Philip and St James Drama Group.
Right. Time is 15:32, Tuesday, 16th July. Present in the room is Detective Sergeant Charlie Newman and
Lil Turnbull, Lindsay Turnbull, 16th of the 6th, 1971. I'm so sorry, I'm really nervous.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
It's not a formal interview. You do not have to say anything, but may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which later in court. Anything you do say will be given evidence. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Be charming, Charlie. She offered to come in. Remember not to talk back to me. She doesn't know about your earpiece.
I just remind you that you are not under arrest. You are entitled to free legal advice and are free to leave at any time. You are here voluntary, so we can recap on your statement and find out if you remembered anything else.
I've tried to think, but I'm sure I told you everything that I can remember.
Right, I just need to remind you that you are being recorded on video and audio. Right, there is a microphone in front of you and one in front of myself. There are 2 cameras in the 2 corners, there and there.
Okay, that's good. I don't need to shout then.
And make sure she knows I'm here. She trusts me.
Charlie, can you take a sip of water if you can hear us?
We have a camera located behind myself, focused on you, and the camera behind you is focused on me.
Okay, we better behave then, don't we?
Yeah, and behind that mirror wall is sat Detective Inspector Lorraine Coles and Detective Constable Aaron Blake. They can't see and hear us, but you cannot hear or see them.
Okay. Okay. It was D.I. Coles I spoke to before, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And I have a copy of that statement here, along with other witness statements and some pieces of evidence. First, please sign to say that you're comfortable with the arrangements regarding recording, cameras, and microphones.
Okay, is that on this piece of paper you sent me earlier?
Yeah, that little document there.
Okay.
Aaron, who is her legal representative?
I think it's Toddy. Let me check. Ah, yes, Todd Williamson.
Oh, great. He's already in the building.
Indeed, right. Let's start your relationship with the deceased. Tracy Grayson. How did you know her?
Oh, Tracy's been my best friend since school. We got on really well, you know, like as soon as we met. We were inseparable.
Oh, just let her talk.
I miss her terribly. Oh, those poor babies.
I'm sure you do. Yes, the babies. You were babysitting the night Tracy was attacked.
Careful. We need her to talk. Try not to push it too quickly.
Yes, I was. I often used to babysit for them. We've done it for each other for years, right from when Joe and Adam were really small.
Met at St Mary's when they were 6.
Keep that file open, Aaron.
Joe and Adam are...
Well, Joe's Tracy's older boy and Adam is my son. They were only 2 months apart, or you couldn't separate them, not even when they were growing up.
That's better. Get her to talk about the boys more.
A bit like me and Tracy, really, in a way.
Were they always really close?
Oh, goodness me, yes. They would get into terrible trouble, blame each other. We never knew which one of them had actually done the crime, as it were, so to speak. Sorry, bad choice of words. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Are they still close now?
Oh, sadly, no. No, Joe was very different after, the accident.
Don't let her talk about that yet.
I'm still trying to pull the file for that case.
Okay, so in your statement, you said that Joe returned early that night in question. Can you just remind me what happened that evening?
Well, it was all still a bit hazy.
Just recap what you can remember.
Well, I've told the Detective Inspector Coles my statement.
We need her to recap for the record.
I need a few more minutes stalling. Time to check the accident case.
I know, but sometimes when you retell an event, you suddenly remember something you may or may not missed out before.
Okay. Tracy and Pete, that's her second husband, they were both going out somewhere and they asked if I'd watch the 2 younger children because Joe had argued with Tracy again and then stormed out.
So the babies were in bed already and you went round about...
Well, I must have been nearly 8 o'clock that evening. Joe had already walked out and Pete was in the car. And then I think Tracy had her coat on, ready to go.
Right, okay. So do you have any idea where Joe went that evening then?
You know she doesn't know this. We have Joe's alibi sat in interview room 2 right now.
No, I don't know. I don't know where he went. I just know he was angry with Tracy. Really angry with Tracy.
Right, so do you know what they had a row about?
Well, not exactly. But since the accident, it'd been really nasty to her. Like, she would come out of my house in tears nearly every day before the babies were born. That's something he'd said or done.
So is your house close by then?
Map of the area marked with witness viewpoints.
It's only, I'm just trying to work out how many minutes it takes to walk there. It's only 4 minutes around the corner, literally.
Literally round the corner. Their gardens back onto each other.
She was a lucky woman to have a friend close by, shoulder to cry on. It's nice.
Oh, we had lots of laughter over a bottle of wine most weekends. We always made sure that we lived close by, wherever we were.
You said you were friends since school.
Steer it back to the night.
Yeah, primary school, actually. We even chose the same secondary school, chose the same subject.
Shared the same boyfriends.
No!
Too low, Charlie. Remember, keep her sweet.
We would never do that to each other.
Sorry, that was really unprofessional of me. So let's go back to the night of the attack. Who came in first?
Joe came back. Oh, but he was still in a foul mood. He was so rude to me, I left quickly. That's why I had to go back and get my umbrella.
She didn't say he was rude before. Pick that one up.
Her statement says she said that Joe came home early. She left immediately.
She wasn't specific on times, though.
When you say rude, did he say anything to you?
Not really. He just mumbled, asking why I was still friends with his mum after what had happened in the past.
Move her away from the accident for now.
You forgot umbrella, right?
Well, that's why I had to go back, to get my umbrella. And that's when I found Tracy lying there on the floor, blood everywhere.
Aaron is just checking the weather for that night.
Was Joe still in the house?
Well, I couldn't find him. He must have hit her with the vase from behind, and when she was coming out of the kitchen, and then he must have ran out the back door.
What did you do next?
I called 999 for an ambulance, and then I tried to call Pete.
Do you remember what time you called?
Pete or the ambulance?
Both.
Must have been roughly 9:30. Called the ambulance first, 9:30.
Not the time on the emergency call recording.
Oh, hang on, no, wait. No, that was the first. Oh, that was the first time I left. So it must have been nearer 9:45. Yeah, the ambulance arrived at some point. But I just sat there holding on to her arms. It felt like forever. Blood was all over my hands, and I tried to clear the bits of vase away, but I just kept dropping them all over the place. The blood makes everything really slippery. There's bits of vase and blood everywhere.
Keep her talking. It wasn't raining that evening. Aaron is checking time with the neighbour's statement of time they saw her leave.
That must have been so terrible for you, trying to pick up the pieces and cradle your best friend.
If I hadn't have left her so suddenly, then maybe I could have stopped him.
No one saw Joe going into the house.
I can't find where she said she touched the pieces of the vase.
Lindsay, I know you were upset, but which door did you say Joe came through?
I don't know. I can't remember. He wasn't there 1 minute, and then he was in the kitchen. I don't know.
So it's possible he came through the back door, spoke to you, you left, Tracy comes home, he whacks her over the head with the vase and runs out to the back door. You enter through the front door and find her on the floor.
Yes, that was it. Joe hit her. I don't know if he meant to kill her, though. He was such a kind man when he wasn't angry.
She has added the bit about picking the pieces of vase up.
I'm sure he is. What did you do with the fragments of vase, Lindsay?
What? The vase?
Yeah, you said you were trying to hold Tracy whilst picking up pieces of the vase.
Oh God, yeah, they were everywhere. The vase was given to her at her first wedding. I should know that. I gave it to them. Oh, it was beautiful. I thought, if I could get all the pieces together, and washed them, it would stick back together and be like it used to be when I first gave it to them.
And that explains why her fingerprints are on the fragments.
There are prints from Pete, Joe, and Lindsay on the large fragments of the vase.
So, did you know Tracy's first husband?
Go in careful with this one.
Richie?
She doesn't know what we know.
Richie, oh goodness, yes.
I now have the case notes of the accident.
I dated him when we were in secondary school. He's a bit dorky back then. I was maid of honour at their wedding. Mainly to look after Joe for the day, to be honest. He was only 3 months old when they got married. That would make Adam 5 months. But they're so easy to look after. Like, they entertained each other.
I'm sure they did.
Ask her now.
Lindsay, do you know how Richie Farrell died?
Yes. Yes, I do. He had a car accident many years ago, killed instantly. Horrid.
Tracy must have been a bit heartbroken.
A blessing in disguise, that was.
I'm sorry, when you say blessing, what do you mean?
Well, Richie was not the best choice of a husband, if you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what you mean.
Well, he was being unfaithful to Tracy. Seeing another woman, he was.
You know that for certain, do you?
Yes, and I happen to know that she was in the car with him.
All right.
Erin is looking into the accident case. There had been another person in the car. DNA sample obtained, but not identified.
Our reports say that there was nobody else in the car when emergency services arrived.
Yeah, well, you don't know the full story, do you?
She's becoming defensive. Drop it. Change subject.
No doubt you were there for, well, I bet you were there for those difficult days you were having.
Yes, of course I was. She never had a better friend than me. I was always there for her. Always there for her. Well, except when she needed me the most. Oh, God.
Erin has asked for the sample to be run through as quickly as possible. 20 minutes max.
Would you like some water or maybe a toilet break?
Oh, I'd like to go get a glass of water, please.
You don't have much time left with her. What does she think Joe's motives are? And did she know Pete and Tracy went out separately?
Right. Time is 15:46 on Tuesday, the 16th of July. Present in the room are PC Rayner and
Katie Turnbull.
Katie. Thank you for understanding the recording procedures and signing your consent to the recording.
I just want this to be over.
I can understand that, and it will be soon.
My mum would go nuts if she ever found out about me and Joe.
Right. How long have you had a relationship with Joe Farrell?
I've known Joe all my life. He and my brother were friends.
Were friends? What happened?
My mother happened.
Your mother being Mrs. Lindsay Turnbull?
Yes. Both families were really close before the accident.
Accident?
Joe's dad, Richie, was killed instantly in a car accident a few years ago.
Would that have been Richard Farrell, killed on the roundabout at the end of Church Street?
Yeah, that's the one.
Speeding down Church Street, then wrapped himself around the sign and took a few rolls. Nasty scene that was.
Losing Richie changed everything. Mum was just weird and wouldn't let Joe come into the house. Him and Adam used to meet up behind the garages along Stanley Lane, hang out smoking and stuff.
I'm sorry, Adam is?
Adam's my older brother. He's moved up north now. Mum hasn't been in touch with him since he moved out.
Okay, so Joe Farrell and your older brother were friends until Joe's father, Richie, died in a terrible accident. Then your mum reacted badly and banned Joe from coming round to see Adam.
Yeah, that's when they used to meet up secretly. I followed them sometimes.
So when did your relationship with Joe change from being sister of his friend?
Well, it started as soon as Adam left. I met with Joe to explain Adam had moved. Then we just kept meeting secretly so that Mum didn't know.
So, and how long have you been in a relationship with Joe?
I'd say New Year's Eve, when Mum thought I'd gone to bed, but I sneaked out to meet Joe. Yeah, that's when it started.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to go over events again, but on the night Joe's mum, Tracy Grayson, was murdered, can you tell me where you were and if you were with anyone?
I got a text from him to meet in the usual place.
Which was?
Same as always, behind the garages.
On Stanley Lane.
Yeah, I just read the text when the phone rang. Mum was chatting to Tracy, then the call ended and she said she had to go and babysit for the Grayson twins.
And was that normal?
Yeah, Mum did it, but only when Joe wasn't in, which made it easy for me to see him.
I see. Can you remember what time your mother left?
It was about 7:50 that evening.
Are you certain about that time?
Yeah. I sent Joe a message to say I was on my way. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So what happened when you went to meet him?
Well, we wandered up to the skate park to give one of Joe's friends some juice for his vape. We hung around, chatted a bit, then went back to my house and stayed in the bedroom until around, say, sort of 2 a.m. when Joe climbed out of the window and jumped over the back wall.
Why did he go over the back wall?
Our back garden backs onto the Graysons' back garden. He has a certain route. He can easily go from my bedroom to his bedroom without anyone seeing him.
Ah. So, did you hear your mother return at all that evening?
I heard the door shut sometime around, must have been 10:30. We'd just finished watching something on Netflix.
And did you see your mother again that evening?
I heard the shower running not long after the door shut. Then Joe and I ordered pizza.
Was pizza delivered to your house?
Yeah, we order the same as always because Jez, our mate, drives the bike. And when he knows it's me and Joe, he slips in some extra sauce pots.
Yeah. So, you didn't see your mother come home, but you heard her and you ordered pizza for you and Joe, and your friend Jez knows you were together that evening.
Yeah. Oh, actually, when I went to answer the door to Jez, I noticed the washing machine was on. It was making a lot of noise.
Is that unusual?
Well, not the noise, but for Mum to have a shower at the same time is weird because it alters the water flow if you're having a shower when the washer is on.
Thank you, Katie. Yes. You met with friends in the skate park and your friend Jez later delivered you pizza. That puts both of you in a different house at the time of Tracy's murder. Thank you for your time.
I'd do anything for Joe. He did not do this. My mother is wrong.
I'm sure Detective Inspector Coles will find the truth, Katie.
I hope so. Joe has been through enough already.
Right. You had some water now. Are you happy to continue?
Thank you, yeah.
Good.
I should be shopping with Katie today.
Who's Katie?
Oh, it's my daughter. Born 2 years after Adam, she was, but nothing like him. Adam was a quiet baby. Katie screamed all the time. She still does now. She doesn't stop talking. Don't get me wrong, I love her to bits, but oh my gosh, she can be quite tiring.
Yeah. So what is she doing instead?
Oh, she's spending the day with Adam, bless him.
That's quite nice, isn't it? On the night Tracy was attacked, Did you know they went together?
No, I don't even recall them saying where they were going.
We have 2 witness accounts that say they weren't actually together that evening.
What? Why would they not be together? That doesn't make sense. They were always together. What?
Right, so Pete was seen in a takeaway on Brunswick Street at 2015 that evening.
On his own? Where was Tracy?
Don't answer that.
That would explain why she came back before Pete, I suppose. And he didn't answer his phone when I tried to call him.
Lindsay, are you sure you saw Joe come home that night?
Sorry, what?
Are you sure it was Joe you saw?
Yes, of course. Joe was the one that was there. He was the one that hit her.
Could it have been possibly Pete and not Joe that you saw?
Don't be ridiculous. Pete would never do that to us.
Us?
Yes, us. I mean, like us as friends. We've all known each other so long. I know he wouldn't do that.
Joe wasn't seen coming home that evening.
Well, yes, of course he did. He must have come in. He must have come in the back door and then left via the back door.
Why is she hell-bent on it being Joe and not Pete?
What would Joe's motivation be for hitting his own mother and running away?
I don't know, you tell me. Sorry. Look, Joe hated her because he felt it was her fault that his father died.
Right. So why would he think it was her fault?
Apparently, they had a row the day that his father died. Tracy was sure that Richie was being unfaithful and confronted him about it. Now, Joe had no idea what they were arguing about. He just knows that they were angry and that Tracy was upset. So Richie took off in the car. He hit the sign on the roundabout at such speed and the car did flip. They went over and over and over many, many times.
Don't ask any more questions about the accident.
Would Pete have any reason to be angry with Tracy?
Pete, no, not at all. He's kind and loving.
Do you know where Tracy went that evening? Or with who?
Oh, no, I didn't get a chance to ask her.
Maybe she was seeing someone else and Pete found out?
No, I would know if she was seeing someone else. I know her better than anyone. She would tell me. She would have told me.
I'm sorry.
DNA results are back.
Do you need a break for the toilet or something to eat?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just not sure that I'm being helpful.
Of course you are. You're helping us see the events from your perspective, and that is incredibly helpful, Lindsay.
Well, if you're sure.
Well, yeah, I am sure.
The result came back with a positive ID on a Lindsay Louise Turnbull. Show her the photo of Joe's girlfriend.
Okay, Lindsay, we have a witness who was with Joe the night of the attack and has an alibi saying she was with him from 1950 on to date until 2000 hours.
Okay. How can that be?
I'm going to show you the photo of the girl he was with. Can you tell us if you recognise her?
Okay, hang on. I'll wait till it comes through. Let me just open that. Okay, of course I tell you. Yeah, I can see it.
Cool. Are you okay, Lindsay? Do you recognise the girl?
No.
You don't recognise her at all?
No. It can't be. You've sent me the wrong picture. It can't be.
She knows her and needs to say it.
Do you recognise the girl in this photo?
Well, the photo that you've sent me, yes, it's my daughter, Katie.
Got her. Now, go careful.
Right. So that would be Katie Turnbull. And in her statement, she has said she was with Joe at the time you say he was at home with his mother.
No, she's lying. She couldn't have been with him. She wouldn't have been with. She wouldn't.
Well, according to Katie, she has been having a relationship with Joe for about 6 months, but didn't want you to know.
Well, of course she wouldn't want me to know. Not him. Not him. Anyone but him. I would not allow that boy in my house. Never mind approve a relationship with my Katie.
Again, I will ask you who you think you saw that night Tracy was attacked.
It was Joe. I saw Joe. He spoke to me.
And you're absolutely sure that it wasn't Pete?
It wasn't Pete. It was not Pete.
There's a woman downstairs asking to speak to you, Inspector.
Me? Right, okay. No more questions while I'm gone.
Okay, Lindsay, do you want a break?
I want some legal representation, please.
Okay, but you know you are not under arrest right now.
I know, but I'm not sure if I should answer any more questions until I have someone to advise me. I'm confused.
Okay, we'll get Aaron to make the call.
Actually, I think I need the toilet. Do you mind if we have a break?
No, that's fine.
Time is 15:58, Tuesday the 16th of July. Present in the room is PC Hansen and
Claire Hemingway.
Okay, Claire, can you begin by explaining your relationship to the deceased Tracy Grayson?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I've never met her.
You've never met her?
No, but I know her husband Pete.
Okay, yes. Can you explain a little bit more about how you know Pete?
Well, it all started about 3 years ago, before he was married. We had a thing.
A relationship?
Yes. I met him at the garage when I had a bump with the car. He owns the car repair place on Baker Street.
Grayson's? Carry on.
We got on like a house on fire. And he asked me out for coffee while the wing was being fitted.
Right.
My husband, he worked away from home a lot, and things just got out of control very quickly.
And this was before he met Tracy?
Oh no, he was with Tracy. She was desperate to have another child, and he just wanted a bit of fun.
So were you and he in a serious relationship?
Sort of, I guess. We talked about me leaving my husband, but he wasn't sure how Tracy would be. So we didn't talk about it for a while.
I see.
Then Tracy became pregnant with the twins, and we kind of drifted apart.
And then?
We bumped into each other at a mutual friend's party, and then things just picked up again.
Oh, and when was that?
Last summer, almost a year ago. It was a big barbecue. Tracy wasn't with him. He said Tracy was becoming tired all the time, and the babies were getting all the attention. She had no time for him.
So your relationship was rekindled, as it were.
Yes, we often saw each other after that.
And where were you on the night that Tracy was murdered?
I met Pete, as usual, by the bandstand, and we went for a walk.
Can you recall what time that was?
Yes. He was running a little late. We were meant to meet at 8, but he'd been delayed. There's something about Joe and Tracy having a row. He was quite flustered when he arrived.
And where did you go after he met you?
We popped into the takeaway on Brunswick Street.
Mm-hmm. And what time would you say that was about?
Around 8:15, maybe 20 past 8 that evening.
Mm-hmm. And then where did you go?
We walked to my home. No one was home. It was one of our evenings we could be together.
So where was your husband that night, Claire?
He was in Amsterdam. He goes there a lot on business midweek.
Mm-hmm. And what time did Pete leave your house?
I'm not sure. Pete missed a call from Lindsay, the babysitter, just before 10, and said it must be urgent. She never calls.
And did he leave your house straight away?
Yes. He was anxious something had happened. He was worried about the argument anyway. Apparently, Joe and Tracy can get really cross with each other sometimes. Pete tries to stay out of the way.
So, how long would it take him to get back to his house from your house?
Well, he would have had to walk 20 minutes to get the car from the park, to then drive home. If he left me at 10 o'clock, he'd be home by 10:30 unless...
So, you're sure Pete was with you all the time from 2010 until 2200 hours?
Absolutely, yes.
And he didn't leave before then?
Certainly not.
So he was still at your house at 21:30? He was at your house at 21:30?
Yes, of course.
So, Pete met you just after 2000 hours. He had a missed call from the babysitter and left promptly just before 2200 hours. And you are certain neither of you left your house before then?
Am I a suspect, officer?
Well, we just need to check and be sure Pete was with you at 21:30 on the night his wife was murdered.
Look, I can see what this looks like.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Hemingway. You're not under arrest or a suspect. You're a voluntary attendee.
He would not have killed Tracy. He wouldn't do that. He couldn't. He needed her for the children. Without her being there for the children, he wouldn't be able to see me. We had a good arrangement. Everyone was relatively happy. He just wouldn't do this. Now he has to raise those children himself. I won't get a look in.
Oh, Mrs. Hemingway, you've been very helpful. Thank you for your time.
Sorry? What did you say?
You're free to go. You may leave.
Is that it? What do I do now?
Is there anyone I can call for you? Maybe someone to pick you up?
Oh, yes, please. Maybe a taxi.
Okay, let's go back up to the waiting room and I'll make a call. End of interview, 16:03.
So where do we go with Lindsay?
Oh, just relax, one thing at a time. She needs time to process the fact that Joe has an alibi.
Why is she defending Pete? Everything we have points to Pete.
I don't know. Aaron has found that Lindsay was in the passenger side of the car with Richie. When he hit the sign, the passenger door flew open and whoever the passenger was fell out.
No seatbelt?
No evidence of that. It's thought that because she flew out before the car rolled, she escaped uninjured and literally walked away.
But why would she do that?
Which bit? Be in the car in the first place or walk away?
Both.
Aaron, see if there's anything that links Lindsay with Richie other than dating at school. Oh, check Adam's birth certificate.
Adam's birth certificate?
Why?
Maybe there was something going on that connects them.
Best friend's husband?
Obvious.
Women?
Steady on. Do you want me to take over?
No. I think I'm okay. Any news on old, what's his name? Toddy. Is Toddy coming over?
Yeah, he's on his way up to you now.
Who is it?
Todd Williams.
Okay, thanks. Hello, Lindsay, you all right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's just all a bit confusing, isn't it?
It is. Well, Mr. Williams will join us shortly. He's been briefed on the case.
Okay. Like I say, it's all just very confusing. So.
It is. I understand. I really do.
But I just can't understand why Katie would lie and try to defend Joe.
Got the notes from Hanson.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Miss Tumble.
Just for the record, Todd Williams has entered as legal advisor to Lindsay Turnbull.
Just putting my note down. From what I have just learned, there is no doubt over where my client actually saw on the evening the Casey Station took place.
Yes, Lindsay claims she saw Joe Farrell in the house, but a witness has vouched for Joe's whereabouts that evening.
Joe Farrell, that name sounds familiar.
Joe's father was Richie Farrell from Tracy's previous marriage.
Katie can't have been with him. She's lying.
Who was the witness saying when she was with him, Newman?
The witness is Katie Turnbull, Lindsay's daughter.
It's not true.
I'm advising my client not to say anything else until advised to do so.
Actually, have Katie still in interview room 2.
Lindsay, just so you are aware, we have your daughter in the building presently.
Why is that?
Oh, she came in voluntary to offer more specific evidence to prove her boyfriend where her boyfriend's whereabouts were that evening.
He is not her boyfriend.
Please refrain from preaching.
Are you absolutely sure, Joe, or was it in fact Pete who you saw?
No comment.
Claire Hemingway has confessed to PC Rayner that she was with Pete Grayson and has claimed they spent the evening grabbing a takeaway and going back to her apartment until he received a missed call from Lindsay. They've also been together for over a year.
Lindsay, were you aware that Pete was extramarital relationship with somebody?
No comment.
New evidence has been released proving that Pete was actually in fact having an affair with someone whom he was with the night his wife was killed.
What? That is not possible.
Okay then, tell me why that's not possible.
No comment.
No comment.
Newman, I need to know what the new evidence is if I am to advise my client further in this case.
Right, I'm forwarding to you now my notes on the case.
Thank you. About time.
Pete can't have been in the house with his wife at 21:30. There isn't enough time for him to get from Mrs. Hemingway's back to his house. She claims he didn't even leave her house until 2200 hours.
It wasn't Joe or Pete. Come on, Charlie. It can only be one other person.
Okay, Lindy, and new evidence shows that Pete was in fact with another woman who wasn't his wife on that night.
But that can't be right either.
Do you know Claire Hemingway?
No, I do not.
Okay, so Joe has an alibi thanks to your daughter. Thank you very much. Katie and Pete has an alibi because Claire Hemingway has admitted to having an affair with him and being with him at the time of the murder.
Well, that can't be right.
No comment.
Did you actually see anyone in the house? Who else had the motive to hurt your best friend?
Keep going, Charlie. She's starting to crack.
Why would anyone hurt your friend? Maybe he didn't actually want to kill her. Maybe it was an argument which may not have got out of hand.
No.
Could it be, this is just me sort of suggesting, but could it be that you didn't mean to kill her on that night, but it happened accidentally?
Don't answer that, Lindy.
No.
I totally advise you do not answer that.
Lindsay, that's
Yeah.
happened, isn't it? You hit Tracy with a vase that you brought, accidentally killing her, then blame Joe because you knew something. Joe knew something Tracy didn't know, didn't he? Didn't he, Lindsay? You wanted Joe to suffer because of all the pain that he has put you through. He knew that, didn't he?
Yes, he knew everything.
My client did not need to answer any more questions.
Did Joe know it was you in the car with his father?
Don't answer that.
Yes, Joe knew. He knew I was having an affair with his dad. And he told Tracy, and it's his fault that Richie died, and it's his fault that his mother died.
Right, that's all we needed to know.
We've got her, Charlie.
Lindsay, is there anything that we've missed out?
No. Joe didn't kill her. Joe didn't kill her. I did. I killed Tracy.
Stop talking.
Oh, no, I need to tell the truth. You see, the truth is that ever since we were little, Tracy has always done better than me. She's always had the better boyfriend, the better house, car, job. I loved Richie.
Results are back from Adam's birth certificate.
I loved him with all of my heart.
Adam's father was Richard Farrell.
He was Adam's father, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
But why kill Tracy? For what? Having better things than you? Was it jealousy?
Not just that. It's her fault that we both lost Richie. She didn't know that I was also seeing Pete.
Pete was cheating on Tracy and you.
I didn't know there was someone else until just now.
So why did you try and blame it on Joe Farrell?
Because I hate Joe. He knew everything and he ruined everything. If Joe went down for killing his mother, then at least I would have Pete myself. Well, it turns out that he was cheating on me too, with another woman. How could he do that? Why would he do that?
Right, that's all I need to know.
Well done, Aaron. Thanks for collating everything so quickly.
No worries. Pub.
Pub, after we put this one away.
Not quite who Newman thought it would be.
Another bet you won?
Of course. 50 quid for this one.
First round on you then.